What is going on? So in today's video, I got to talk to Cole Tilbury, and he is a personal trainer, but more of like a coach in terms of helping you get happier, healthier, and more efficient in your life. So he's got a Facebook group you can go and check out. It's Cole Tilbury Fitness. I'm gonna throw it down below, and you'll see it in the description. But you can also find him on Instagram as well at Cole Tilbury Fitness as well. Cole was nice enough to give me a lot of his time today. We basically just chatted about, different things from, building good habits to fitness goals and how that relates to your mental health as well. And we kind of talked a little bit about, how you can kind of keep yourself busy and stay motivated and positive through this time of lockdown. So check out this video and enjoy. And one more thing. If you guys are liking these interviews that I'm doing and you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I release these interviews every single week. If not, just watch this video and enjoy. All right, there we go. Now we're recording. What's going on? I'm here with Cole. Cole, I'll let you introduce yourself, but first I'll shout out your Instagram at Cole Tilbury Fitness, and then on Facebook you have a group as well, Cole Tilbury Fitness.
Yeah, keep it nice and simple.
Sweet, man. Why don't you give yourself a little introduction here?
Yeah, awesome. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you're watching this, my name is Cole Tilbury. I run Cole Tilbury Fitness. That's an online coaching, online personal training. I work at Overdrive Athletic Club. That's a CrossFit gym in Richmond where I coach CrossFit classes as well as do face-to-face personal training and do, a lot of the business stuff with that as well, and just help grow that business and, try and kind of dip my toes in a little bit of everything. But my life kind of revolves around fitness almost every single day. Do a lot of functional training. I do a lot of functional bodybuilding, and love to help, new people get into fitness for the first time, and, like to help people that are usually really busy, that have families and run businesses that really want to learn how to be a little bit more efficient, gain some more energy with their lives, and kind of just, make things a little bit easier and still have fun doing it. And not need to change their entire life upside down, make it a simple process for them to, feel better. So
Nice, man.
yeah.
And what made you want to get into personal training in the first place?
Oh, that was a long time ago. I've been in the game now for about 8 years. I started when I was about 20, but before that I had a spinal kind of injury, back injury that would kind of prevent me from walking occasionally. Bad sciatic pain. So I worked with my uncle, Steve Butler. He owns a studio in Kitsilano called The Back Healer. The guy is a guru. He is awesome. I learned a lot from him when I was really young. So he helped me kind of get back into it, and taught me a lot of things, and it made me want to help other people that had a lot of the same issues. So I do a lot of rehab work as well. But yeah, I learned how to basically do everything through him and got certified, and I branched out after just to go and help a few more people. So yeah, basically my own injuries is what got me to go and help other people. So
Nice, man. And how is like being a personal trainer, how's that impacted your own fitness journey?
Oh, big time. I think the reason why I would consider myself a pretty good trainer is because of a lot of things that I've gone through with my own health and fitness, a lot of different things that I've tried, different styles of training, the injuries that I've kind of dealt with, as well as just being with different people, like so many different people with different scenarios in their life or issues, that it's really helped me kind of understand how everybody is. Like it really allows me, since I've trained like hundreds of people, that it just allows me to understand kind of what people's mentality is, and what they actually need. So it's been fun, just even on a personal level, how I manage my life, just meeting these people. So it's awesome, man. I love it.
And were you always like into sports? Were you always like doing something, like how did you get into the gym in the first place?
Well, I started training because of my injury with my back. because I needed to learn how to open it up, create some space in the spine, and then rebuild the structure. Basically, my foundation wasn't very good. So I started to do that, and that's kind of how I first got into the gym. But believe it or not, actually, I didn't really start working in a gym environment until I already became a trainer. So like very early, I started training it like full time. I went like cold turkey, 5 days straight, like just went at it and got obsessed. And that's kind of what took me off from there, really like motivated me to get better and stronger. I was like 145 pounds when I started. I was like baby weight. And then now I've put on like an extra 40 pounds, but yeah, I just got assessed once I got in there. But yeah, it was just from my own injuries. But I did do sports growing up. I played hockey my whole life since I was like 4 years old. I also did MMA, had a couple fights, and then I love to do various other sports for fun. So pretty active. Yeah.
Nice, man. I grew up playing sports as well. How do you think that kind of like helped shape the kind of person you are, or kind of helped shape your mindset?
Oh, massively. Hockey was huge for me. I was very, grateful to have some amazing coaches growing up. So I really learned a lot of respect, discipline, how to be a leader. I was always one of the captains on my team almost every year. And I was always usually one of the better players on my team growing up before my injury. So I always had to learn how to kind of bring other people up to, my level. I never really had an ego with, me trying to be the best player. It was more about how I can be a team player and bring everybody else up and try and create a really good atmosphere. So it was just something that was taught to me on what kind of leader I needed to be. And one big thing that was always taught to me was to do the little things. It was like drilled into me from a young age that I still hold on to pretty closely.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
I really like those kind of answers. Like, it really resonates with me because I think that being able to lift someone else up when they are like kind of not always like less skilled than you, but just like at a lower energy state than you, and just being able to lift them up is such a great skill to have.
Yeah, totally. I think like sports, or it's just, your friends, or, whoever it is, family. Um, you should be always trying to help other people. Like, you should be trying to build other people up, and be as supportive as you can you at another time. And I just think it's what makes you happier in general as a person, is when you can just help other people become better. And when you see the results that they're having and how they feel, to me, that's what makes me happy. Like, I love that when I see other people get fired up and motivated and feel great about what they're doing, which is why I continue to do what I do. Because that's honestly what makes me happy every day. If I'm not doing that, I don't feel very good, so yeah.
Nice, man. Is there any other ways that you say you like keep your mental health in check, like other than working as a personal trainer and helping out others?
Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, mental health is huge. My whole family deals with mental health issues. Growing up with, I would say, a difficult situation, like a lot of people do. For me, it was like massive. Like, there's a lot of issues that I had growing up and continue to deal with, every day. Like, it's not something that just goes away, but yeah, a couple things that have really helped me kind of propel myself and really made a huge difference. First of all, was being active, and kind of connecting with my own body and just like building it and shaping it. And it was my space to go to feel better. It was like, I don't have to deal with, the everyday problems when I could just spend an hour, like, just training. But the biggest thing for me has been routine, like, massively. If I don't have a routine and I'm not in like my normal kind of schedule, or things aren't flowing naturally, I find it very difficult to stay like motivated and fired up and stay high energy. So yeah, I need a routine. If I don't have a routine, I'm not scheduled out, I'm not organized, I can't, I find it very difficult to deal with. Yeah.
How do you start building your routines up?
I try and keep it real simple. It depends on what I'm doing, but if it's like with my coaching, and just like my daily habits, I try and keep like, I wake up the same time every day. I'm trying to, I like to eat the same things. I don't like to make massive changes, if possible. I know some people are big foodies and need to have variety. I'm a guy that can like cook the same thing and eat it. I make some pretty good, delicious food, and I can just continue to eat that, no problem. But yeah, I need to kind of have that consistency with even my food. I need to know when I'm training, what I need to do that day, what needs to be accomplished, when I'm coming home. Like, I also need to like decompartmentalize a little bit and give myself some like me time, or just like relax for a bit and kind of just not think about a bunch of stuff. And I find that if I give myself enough time to be productive and, put my energy into it, I give myself a little bit of time to like just me time, even if it's like during the day for like 15 minutes or like half hour, it makes a huge difference. Like, I just feel better. So
When you say me time, like what does that mean? Is that like time in the gym or?
no, like I train no matter what. I just like that energy, and obviously I feel really good. It allows me to stay productive even afterwards. So I don't really call that my me time, but sometimes like I just need to be alone, or like reading, or meditating, or whatever it is. Like, I just need to have at least 15 minutes or 30 minutes, especially in a long day where I'm working like 12 or more hours, that like I need to have at least at some point just a little bit of a break where I just kind of separate myself from, especially working in a gym that I do. Like, the energy is so high, it's crazy all the time. I need to just have quiet. I need to be alone for a little bit, even if it's a walk, go outside. Like, did I lose you there, bud?
Hold
There
on,
you
it's
go.
like, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, now it's
okay.
fixed. Yeah, I kind of skipped out there. Sorry, I think that's my connection.
That's okay. Did you get that, or you want me to go over it again?
It was basically, yeah, it just cut out when you were talking about like the energy in the gym there is like really, really high.
Yeah, the energy in the gym's like crazy, right? Like, especially being in a CrossFit gym, like the tunes are going. We know everybody, right? So our community's awesome, and we have a lot of people coming in and out all the time. So it's a lot of energy. It's like, no matter what, even when there's nobody in the gym, you can just feel that energy in the gym. Like, it's just there all the time. So I just need to step out for like a little bit, have some quiet time. Even if it means like I'm not doing anything, I just need 15, 20 minutes, just to be alone, kind of gather my thoughts, let things go, and then I can come back and have no problem.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And so for yourself, how would you say like, what would you say your next goal is with fitness?
Well, right now, like I was saying, I'm starting to build my online coaching, and I'm making that transition. I did it for a little bit last year, but this time, especially with I would like to see that grow and help as many people as I can, not just locally, but around the world. It allows me to broaden my horizons a little bit more. So definitely that, for sure. As well as I love the gym that I'm at. I'd love to see that grow. I'd love to help more people, come into that gym, for sure. So we're working on building that gym. Unfortunately, right now we're putting that a little bit on pause, but it's an amazing gym. Honestly, if I wasn't there, I'd probably be 100% online coaching, but I just love being there. So
Nice. When I first met you, you were working at like a commercial gym where I was
mhm.
working out at, and I ended up working there as well.
Yeah.
But what was the kind of motivation to want to branch off onto your own, and what was kind of like the biggest challenge with that?
Well, with where we were, I don't even know if there's going to be a gym anymore, with what's going on, believe it or not, which I've got no problem with. But yeah, it's for me. I joined that facility because I wanted to learn really how to become a personal trainer. I think it was a great way to increase the amount of volume on how many people I was seeing, how many consultations, assessments I was doing. It was like the best way to like throw me in and learn everything really fast. I had been there for about 2.5 years before I decided to kind of branch out and do my own thing, which I was like, it was awesome at first, but doing it completely on your own, it was a little bit like, I don't want to say boring, but it was kind of boring when you're not around a team or a crew. Um, it wasn't as motivating to come in every day, so it wasn't the greatest thing for me, which is why I actually went to Overdrive, where it was a small team where we're around a great community and the energy is really high. I think my service has increased significantly since going there. Um, yeah, it's been a great time. So that was a really big change for me. I'm very confident in what I offer as an individual, but I like to be a part of a small team of like-minded individuals that just want to grow and help as many people as possible.
What do you think is like the factor that helps you out when you are on a team as opposed to being like by yourself?
Uh, being by yourself is pretty lonely. Um, you know what the thing is like, it's extremely beneficial when it's only you, in the sense of whatever work you put in is what you get out. You know what I mean? Like everything that you build towards your business, every little like post that you make, content, offer, talking to clients, like it's 100% you. So it's a great experience to learn how to do that, because I think it's just as important. But when you're with a community or a team, it's honestly, I think it's next level if you find the right group. Like I'm with a really good group of guys right now, a really good coaching team. We all have the same mindset, and like we come in every day wanting to absolutely crush it. So there is no like up and down. It's like we're all always ready to go all the time. And so that's what kind of makes you better at what you do. So I wouldn't give that up, which is why I wouldn't go 100% into online coaching, because I don't want to lose that, because that's what makes everything else I do better.
How did you find this team? Did you already like kind of know them before, or?
Well, the funny thing is like I was only in bodybuilding, like regular gyms, like that was my style of training. But my buddy Ryan Reed, I think you know him.
Yeah,
Um,
I know of them. I don't
yeah,
really know them too well, but yeah, I know of.
yeah. So he's one of the coaches right now at Overdrive. He's a personal trainer as well. So I've known him since like high school. I've known him for a very long time, and he was working there, and it told me that I should come and train over there. And honestly, I was like, I don't know. I don't know about the CrossFit thing. I like, the old bodybuilder mentality of like what CrossFit is. Like that was kind of me. I was definitely like a bro. So I wasn't sure I wanted to do that. But then when I saw these guys train, and I saw the energy of the gym, I was like hooked right away. It was so different, man. When you go into a traditional gym, I just find like the energy, it's like kind of like a fuck you mentality, excuse my language, but people put in their headphones, go in, grind, don't really want to like talk to people. Or if you do talk to people, that takes up your workout. It's like, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. And being here, it's like, man, we just blast the tunes, we talk, but we just go hard. We train so much harder. My results have been 10 times better than I've ever had. Like, faster too. I feel way better. So yeah, it was something that I like wasn't sure I wanted to do, and then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm in. And I've been there for now 2.5 years, so it was a good transition for me.
Nice, man. And so, do you ever have people like come in and want to join that gym, but they're a little bit like timid, or they haven't like lifted before?
Hell yeah, all the time, man. People are afraid of like what CrossFit is, and it's because of a lack of knowledge, I think. And also, not every gym is equal. unfortunately. And I think that that's one reason why we stand out as a gym and why we've done so well. Overdrive has been open for 10 years. So it's been around for a long time. But what we really like to try and differentiate is that we build a full structure from, like, I call it the overdrive funnel. So it doesn't matter whether you haven't touched a single weight or you're an athlete. We have a spot within this funnel to guide you into getting you to exactly where you want to be. So if you've never touched a weight and you don't have basic foundations, then we would put you through something called we would put you through personal training until you've uh, built the stability, the structure, the foundations to be able to do all the movements safely and structurally. We won't even put you into any of our classes until you can perform those things. So we take like your health and safety as like a number one priority. When we do our consultation, we make sure that you, like, whatever we tell you we think is right for you, that is the diagnosis. Like, you could go anywhere else, and if they tell you something different, then they're just trying to get your money and get you in the door. Because if you don't feel like we're a good fit, or we can't offer you what we think is best for you, then like you can go somewhere else. But this is it. Like, we can help you with everything and guide you through that process and get you the results you want in a really, really great environment. But we make sure that your safety is number one. Like, we want you to get your results, but we want you to do it properly. So if you can't move the way we want you to move, we're going to get you to that way. Right. So we offer simplified CrossFit classes as well, called base camp classes. So there's no advanced like Olympic lifting movements, but our goal with that class is to get you comfortable with understanding how CrossFit is, learn the basic movements, and guide you into more advanced stuff, like make that transition. And then we'll put you through a couple fundamental classes to do some Olympic lifting, teach you that, and then we can put you through CrossFit. So like, we really make sure that and it depends on your fitness level, how long that takes. Some people don't need to be in it for very long, but others need to be in it for quite a while. And that's totally fine. We still have the progressions and the intensity for you to get better all the time. So,
Nice, man.
yeah.
And do you find that like having that kind of a background or an approach to it is a little bit more helpful than what you were doing before?
Yeah, definitely. That was one thing when I got into Overdrive that I really felt like we could improve upon. We didn't have the same structure now that we did before. And I felt like a lot of people were I don't want to say intimidated, but they were kind of frustrated as well that they may not be doing what other people were doing. Like, they weren't doing all this crazy stuff and they didn't feel like they could. So I wanted to try and remove that process or that feeling, so that when anybody comes in, they feel like they're doing the right thing, that they feel like they're actually getting better and they're with people on that same level. So we made that transition to really kind of perfect that. But that also comes from just my own personal training and how I coach people. Like I said, I work with beginners a lot, people that are new to training, and I don't just give them the fancy workouts and the flashy stuff that a lot of other trainers do. I build their foundations from the ground up, and I don't allow them to progress until they've completed what they need to complete. Like, I take that like with extreme care. Like, you have to be able to do these things before we can move on to other stuff. So again, if that process takes you a month, or it takes you 3 months or 6 months, like whatever that is, we want to make sure that even myself and my coaching, like, you have these nailed down. Like, if you can move properly and understand how your body moves, and you can perform all the basic movements like perfect, then I can start putting you in more advanced training principles to really speed up that process. But if you can't do that stuff, then I'm not willing to put your health or your safety at risk. So it's just a mentality.
What do you think is like the biggest struggle for people getting into
Getting into the gym, like into fitness?
Yeah, like getting into fitness in the first place.
Yeah, I think it comes from like habits. Just being in that habit of not doing it in the first place. Like, most people, if they've never done it, they've lived their whole life that way, right? So it's really hard to paint that picture of how important it is and how big of an impact it's going to make on their lives. So Yeah, I think that's a huge one. I also think a lack of education is a massive one. Like, they don't know what they're doing, and they don't know if that's what they're going to learn. Like, they're not comfortable um, with what they should be doing every day, which is why personal trainers have a job in the first place. But um, yeah, it's that scary feeling of not having the knowledge of what they're doing, and a lot of people like that control. So that's kind of what I offer, as well as what we try and do at Overdrive is we coach and we teach all the time, everything, and educate, and we try and drill that in. So I think that's a huge factor. Like, those are the two ones. It's just a natural habit, and then the lack of, like, it's unknown, right? So I think those are the two biggest ones.
And if someone like didn't have the habit at all, like what would be your best advice to try and start building up like some sort of a habit, whether it's like fitness or any positive habit?
Yeah, I believe in like the 1% system. So I think if you build yourself 1% in something that you know you want to work on every day, like, imagine where you're going to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year if you just worked on 1% getting better. A lot of people think of like these big aha moments, or these big things that happen, and um, that's what they see in other people. They see these like breakthrough moments where it's like, oh fuck, that person's jacked, or like, wow, they lost like all this weight, and it seems like it happened in a day or it happened in a week. Like, it doesn't paint a very good picture of like the systems, the work, the effort that they put into actually getting there. Even with businesses that explode overnight, it's like you don't know the amount of grind and the work that was put in previous to that. So people, as long as people understand that it's not gonna happen overnight, and they're willing to put in a little bit of effort, it doesn't need to happen right away. It just needs to be a small habit, 1%, built over a consistent amount of time, and that's how the habit happens. So you don't need to, like, if you're trying to get your food better, you don't need to do it overnight. You don't need to like get rid of everything in your system and like flip your kitchen upside down just to get your food better. It's like, okay, let's work on 1%. Let's work on one thing that we know we can accomplish that will be easy for you to transition into getting better. What happens is the more that you continue to do that, it's less stressful. So the mind is actually not as like, it's not so hard on how you feel every single day. It actually feels easier. But then also just once you start doing it, you're gonna feel better, and then it becomes a habit, and you don't even realize it does. It just becomes one, and then now you're like motivated to do more and learn more and improve it even faster. It's just, you gotta take the baby steps sometimes. Like, some people need to take baby steps to get there in like before they're running, and that's totally fine. I think most people should do it that way. Some people can just like cold turkey go and like flip the switch and go, and that's awesome. If you can do that, fantastic. You're probably going to get your results better, and you're going to get to where you want to go. But it's not real life. People can't always do that. So as a coach, I try and really, when I talk to people in the beginning, it's like explaining that to them, where we're working on 1%. We're working on a little bit at a time. We're going to create that program for them to be built over building those habits consistently, and not in quantity, right? Let's work on things that we can do, simple switches. And once, like I said, once you start feeling better, it just rolls on its own. You don't even need to do very much.
Nice, man. How did you
Yeah.
kind of adapt that mindset, or how did you learn that? Is that through something that
Personal
you read, or?
experiences. Yeah, personal experiences for one. I'm a very driven guy. I'm a like go-getter. I want to accomplish everything. I hate failing. It bothers me. I want to be successful. That's the competitiveness in me. But yeah, definitely a lot of reading, um, a lot of self-help stuff. I've done a lot of other things where I think a lot of it is letting go of like the past, and letting go of a lot of attachments that we have, and even putting walls in front of us that don't even exist. Like, it's huge where we put these barriers, like, I don't think I can do this, or I don't think I can do what that person did, and comparing themselves, or like, I don't see how I can make this change. Like, it just, we create these barriers that don't exist, and then we also hold to attachments that happened in the past. But honestly, if we just start focusing on like what we can do today, And doing those little things in that 1%, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but it just propels itself over time. So, um, yeah, I think it's just about creating that energy, and it's just from experience. Like, I've had to do it. I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life, and um, I've had to take those steps. And anytime I tried to push past those steps, sometimes I got kind of kicked in my face and it didn't work. And that was because I tried to push so hard when I got pushed back. You kind of got to go with the flow a little bit, but just give yourself permission to do that, and that's, it's fine. So
When was the last time you kind of felt like that, when you were like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, or if you don't mind me asking, like.
yeah, honestly, like, I get it a lot, actually. It happens all the time, man. Like, even with my online business now, sometimes I'm like, you know what, I don't like, where's my potential? Like, how big can I get? What can I do? And like, sometimes you think, when you don't have as much growing up, and you kind of live that simple life, that like, you don't allow yourself to uh, think about how much you can grow and how big you can get and all that stuff. And it's definitely a personal mindset that I continue to work on all the time. Like, I try and listen to audiobooks and read as much as I possibly can to just put in positive energy in my head, right? Just like, oh, okay, I just need to do these little things, or like, oh, that's such a great way of thinking about it. And like, it just changes my mindset over time. But man, I deal with it on a daily. I deal with it every week. It's not usually just one event, but obviously we get those big events like in our life where something comes up and we have to deal with it. And I've had that. I get usually one or two of those in a year. I think everybody does. And yeah, I mean, I tried to do the online thing last year and it didn't work out as well as I thought it would. But I learned a whole lot from it. I got so many experiences from it. So I don't look at it as like a negative thing. I actually think it's what has made me better now. And I understand so much more about all these other businesses and like lifestyles. And I got really amazing connections. So even though it didn't work out, it was just because I didn't put enough energy into it. And yeah, now it's a very different story. But back in that time, yeah, it was like I was trying to juggle so many things and then deal with my own personal stuff that I wasn't committed. Um, but yeah, I learned so much from it, and I've met so many amazing people. So even in my negative experiences or things like that, I just learn and like appreciate it as much as I can.
Nice, man. What do you think
Yeah,
like helped you push through that so much?
it's that drive, man. It's that motivation. I want to be happy. Realistically, I don't really care about the money. I don't care about having fancy cars and big houses and all that stuff, or being an Instagram model or whatever. Like, none of that stuff to me really matters. I don't really care. I think at one point it's what I wanted, and I think that was where my mindset was like, I need to have that, and it wasn't healthy for me. So I've really started to, again, I've been reading a lot and talking to a lot of really great people, and just changing that mindset on like, I'm providing a service and I should be just trying to provide as much service as I possibly can to help as many people as I can, and let that, take it where it is. And honestly, like I said, that's what makes me happy. The more I can help people and the more people get fired up from what I can provide, whether it's actual training or just like talking to them or helping with a simple solution or whatever. Like, I personally have no ego when it comes to accepting clients. Like, if I don't think I'm a right fit for somebody, or I can't offer what they exactly need, I have no problem sending them to another trainer. Like, I don't have that ego where I need to have everybody. It doesn't bother me to send them to a competitor, because I'm going to be able to help them out better than I can, which is fine. Like, I'm not going to be able to help everybody the same. I think I would love to, but it's not realistic. So yeah, I had to let go of that, I think, a little bit, and just continue on making my focus on being happy and helping other people try and find that too. So I just had to make that mind shift.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And I think it shows a lot of credibility when you're able to say, to like, hey, you know what, I might not have the same like scope of practice as this person. They might be a little bit better at this. I think it adds to your credibility. I think it makes you like a better professional in the fitness industry.
Yeah, man. You know what? Like, I've been in it for 8 years, but I'm not the smartest fucking guy on the planet when it comes to it. Like, I don't know all the answers. You know what I mean? Like, I know enough to help people. I know more than most people will in that space, like more than the average Joe, which means that I can help them get better. And I'm very organized with how I do things. So I'm able to create those systems and get people to where they need to be. Um, but yeah, man, there's people that know some crazy stuff. Like, people know like into individual molecules and how these little things change. I mean, man, I don't get into a lot of that stuff because honestly, my clients don't care. Realistically, they care about what's going to get them results. So I focus on whatever kind of system or practice that's going to get them there and maintain them being healthy. Like, that's what matters to me. So there's other people in niches that know more than I do. And if I need to know something, I'll go to them and ask them, or I'll provide them the service with whatever client I find. Like, man, it's about just helping people. And like, I'm sometimes, even just personality wise, I'm not the right fit for somebody, and that's fine. Like, I know other people and trainers that are really, really good that I would have no problem providing them that service. So it's just about like creating that right fit.
Right. Yeah, that makes 100% sense, man. I remember like that was one of the biggest things I learned from working at a gym is sometimes it is like definitely like you have to definitely get along with them. It has to be personality fit, and then you have to get along in the sense of like training styles as well, because not everybody wants to do the same thing or needs the same thing. So
Yeah, man, everybody's so different. Everybody's living a different life. Everybody's growing up very differently. Their bodies are different. How they react to things are different. So, man, yeah, I've had to not train people because of that, and that's okay. Like, that's life. It is what it is.
yeah, man. How's like this social distancing lockdown affected your business?
Well, I mean, we were about to go full fledged into really building up the overdrive business. So we were like grinding on that and getting a bunch of things done and set up for it. So it shut that down. Um, but honestly, it's given me more time to work on my online coaching and reaching out and providing more value and content. I know so many people are struggling right now. They've lost their jobs, their businesses are closing. They don't know what's going to happen in the next like few weeks, and like that sucks, man. I totally get it. Like, everybody's feeling that right now. So my goal at this moment is just to try and provide as much value as I can for people, and if I can um, help them just feel better even about the situation, and not even just so much about working out every day, but like, is there ways that we can, again, make you a little bit more efficient? Maybe we can create healthy habits to get you back thinking about your business again. So when things go back to normal, what can we do to kind of get you there? I don't have the solutions for your business, but maybe I can give you the habits and the motivation and the idea of like, okay, you know what? I need to rethink about this, and like, let's go and do this. So it's just about trying to create a positive energy in a time that's kind of not so positive, and very unknown. So that's where my content's really going, is more towards that than like doing home workouts. Because, man, you can go on Instagram, fucking YouTube, anything. Everybody's posting home workouts. It's everywhere. So I don't post those really. Like, I may post a couple things, but honestly, like, that's not really what I think people should be leaning towards. I think they need to be leaning towards like, okay, let's create a daily practice that's healthy now, especially now that we have more time than ever. Like, how can we become a better version of ourselves and create better habits that, when things go back to normal, like, we can crush it again and we're not behind, like, we're ahead of the game. Like, utilize this time as much as possible. So that's kind of where my content, my value comes in.
Nice, man. So like,
Yeah.
what's kind of like a typical day in the life right now for you?
Well, you know what? For me, I wake up kind of every morning at the same time. I like to have the same breakfast. Like, I have oatmeal, bananas, orange juice, and then I have a little coffee after. That kind of starts my day out. Usually when I'm doing that, I get right to work. So I'll finish my breakfast, have my coffee, and I'll start getting to work, creating my content, messaging people, trying to build extra things in my business, like things that can make the service even better. Then usually I'll go and crush a workout depending on what my workout is. Like I'm following a program right now that I've created for our membership group. Luckily, me and a buddy, we've been like every day kind of seeing each other, like even when the whole thing went down. So, and we only see each other. Like it's just basically us. So I'm lucky enough to have a little bit. He's got a home gym available. So I've been training with him. If not, then it's like one dumbbell at home, just crushing it, doing what I need to do, staying active pretty much every day. Yeah, and then maybe I'll go for a walk or get a little bit more work done. And then usually at night, I like to just enjoy that time with the girl and just relax. So, and then I go to bed. I try and maintain going to bed earlier. You know, I don't want to get into the bad habits. So I try and make sure I'm still going to bed, you know, before midnight if possible.
100%, man.
Yeah.
So definitely setting a routine.
Yeah, it's the same shit, man. Every day. It's like I said, if I'm not in a routine right now, I'm thrown off. Like my whole day is ruined if I don't get into a routine. It's hard for me to recover when if something's lost or I'm not organized. So I'm always organized like the day before, what I know I can get done, whether it's like I know I have these appointments like this one for today. Like I already knew that I had a call before. I've got this conversation with you. I've got a couple other things I need to do right after. I'm going to work out, and then I'll probably get a little bit more work done. But I was like organized the day before. So my mind's like super focused and ready to go.
Have you always been like such a detailed like scheduler?
No, man, I was like all over the place. It's funny. I actually think getting busier with my clients, like picking up more clients and doing more coaching, made me be that way. And I think that was just because I got so busy that I had everything kind of in a spot. Um, so I had to make sure that I was doing at least like you know, my breakfast in the morning, that I was eating during the day, that I got my workout in, like what was I doing after work. Like I had to know those things in advance because I'd be busy all day. So it made me kind of be organized. And I think the biggest challenge now is like going from 12 to 14 hours a day to nothing and learning how to create that schedule with nothing. I think that's really been the difficult part, and trying not to get into the habit of like sitting around all the time. So yeah, I mean, I just take those tools and now I've just tried to do it to our situation now. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
What would be like your biggest piece of advice for someone right now that's kind of like stuck in little like a negative like mindset, or they kind of have like negative thought patterns? They're just stuck at home, because that's probably like a lot of people right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Get outside. I mean, we got some great weather right now. You know, some people don't have backyards, but even just sitting out on the patio, just being outside is a really big one. Try and be active, like at least 30 minutes, whether that's you know, you're going for a walk, bike ride, actually doing some training, like whatever that is. That's huge. I would highly suggest doing that. Even if you find that, like you don't feel very good during the day, like make your workout the first thing you do. Like wake up, do it right away. Like you'll feel so much better afterwards that it'll make you feel positive throughout the day. So that kind of helps propel that forward as well. And like set a plan. A lot of us right now are not doing much. Like learn, study a new skill, work towards your business in the future. Like start planning these things out, like create something that makes you work towards something, you know. Like if we're just being lazy and not doing anything, it's very hard to stay positive, like very, very hard to stay positive. So I highly suggest like reading, learning, studying something, something to keep you busy throughout your day that like you can continue to work on. You know that once you're starting to work on yourself, like that's a positive thing. So you're just creating that energy for yourself. Yeah, and just stay consistent. Like I said, the routine is huge. At least for me, it's massive. Things happen, but like the routine's got to be there, you know.
Beautiful,
So,
man.
yeah.
I love it, and I kind of appreciate that a lot. I'm definitely a guy that likes the routine as well.
Yeah.
I jump to it in the morning, but I wasn't always like that either, right? Like I kind of
Totally.
it was kind of something I had to force myself to do, because I realized, man, I feel so much better when I do this.
Yeah, it's huge. Like I didn't realize how big the routine was until I was actually in it, like doing it. And it changed my life. like my energy levels, like my happiness overall, just being in a routine and being consistent. And like, you just realize how productive you are, even with little things in your life, and yeah, it just creates a different mindset. When you don't know what you're doing every day, it sucks. Like, it sucks. I like waking up and knowing exactly what's going to happen. Like, it allows me to, even if I set time where I'm like, okay, 2 hours of learning, I may not know what it is, but I've set that time aside to like, okay, you know what? I might just read a book, or maybe I'm going to learn more about my business or whatever. Like, I set that time aside to actually do it, and it forces you to do it. So like, it doesn't need to be like pinpoint everything, but at least like set that block aside to do something, right?
Yeah,
And
because then
to,
at least you have some sort of a variance. You have some sort of like it's not always like the same thing every single day. You still have some sort of like spontaneous action, but it's set within some sort of a schedule.
yeah, it's nice to wake up and know what you're going to do. It like motivates you. Like, it's just easy. You kind of run on a timer. You're just like, okay, I'm going to go do this. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do this. And it's like, you realize by the end of your day how productive you were. And it may not have been a lot, but it's still better than sitting on your butt all the time, right? So yeah, I try and do it right in the morning, get it done, like get as much as possible, and like set myself up for success for the rest of the day.
Nice,
So
man. Well, we're
yeah,
coming up on 12 o'clock now. I'm going to
yeah,
let you go pretty quick. But
sweet.
one more time, shout out your Instagram. Tell people where they can find you on Facebook and what kind of value you'll give them.
Yeah, awesome. I'm on Instagram as Cole Tilbury Fitness. I have a private Facebook group that you guys can join. There's a page and a Facebook group, but if you can join the group, that's awesome. I post a lot of valuable content on there, especially coming up this week. I'm going to have some offers for some training. I'm going to have more content on there, a bunch of really great information for you guys to have access to. So I highly suggest going to my Facebook page. Like you said, Cole Tilbury Fitness. Yeah, my goal is to help people that are looking to, really create that routine, build healthier habits, get into fitness or accelerate their fitness level. Right now, especially with not having access to a gym, people are really unsure about what to do. I can give you guys a way better training program than you would even in the gym, with very minimal stuff. Honestly, you learn how to move the way your body's meant to move, you're going to feel so much better. You can build strength, lose weight all at the same time. Yeah, I'm actually having a really great time with the change of my program. And it's been awesome. So like I said, guys, if you want more information, just go to those two sites. And yeah, if you want to hit me up for some training or would love a free consultation, I always do a free consultation, no obligations at all. We can go over what you're currently having issues with, what I think your next steps are. And if you feel like I'm a guy that can help you get there, then we can talk about that. But absolutely no obligation. I just love to create conversations and create connections. So yeah.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to throw the recording off. Thank you so much, Cole.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And thank you guys for watching.